What's up, guys? Iceman here. Welcome to the Diablo Research Institution. Appreciate you guys for coming by. Like this damn video if you will. Subscribe to the page. And swat that bell so you're notified next time I post a video. And blessings to my patrons. May you have many wives. Links in the description below. So do you guys remember back in the day? How many of you all are boomers like me? Let me know in the comments below. I remember when Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was a game that I attained. I was 11 years old. Had a Sega Genesis for my birthday. It's like the only birthday party that I ever had with like a bunch of neighborhood kids and friends. Ones that never met each other before. Like there's this kid that I played dinosaurs with, right? And he came there with the kid that I would like go outside and shoot shit with the BB guns with. And it was a clash of toads. But nonetheless, I remember getting that Sega Genesis and just how epic of a journey that was. My first gaming system. And I was late in the game. I had a buddy who had a Nintendo Entertainment System, right? For a long time. And then I had a buddy who had a Super Nintendo. So I finally got the Sega Genesis at 11 years old. And it was already out for I don't know how long. For years. But I started playing Sonic the Hedgehog. Started playing Jurassic Park. A couple other games. I remember I busted my ass with Jurassic Park, for example. Just use the little dart gun, the electrocute thing. Just it's a platformer. Good music. Dun 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 dun. Do you guys remember that game? The dinosaurs actually look great. They look like the Stan Winston models. But you played as Grant, and you'd run around, platforming, jump, and he'd blast dinosaurs. You just try to make it through every level, you know? Side scroller. And on some of those games, I remember punching in cheat codes. And just how quickly that would ruin the game. I'd be like, fuck this. There's nothing left to do. Like the challenge was over. The game was up. There was no more ascending. But you were tricked. Because you thought you were ascending. Because you cut to the chase. You cut to the end game. And you give yourself all the power. You become the god of that game. It's true. And depending on how far they let you go with the cheat codes, it was just over. It didn't take long at all. I remember Sonic 2, but I busted my ass beating that game. No cheat codes. Remember the part where Tails is on the airplane and you're on top of the airplane, you're flying through the level in the clouds, and then Sonic jumps off and the plane gets shot and Tails goes down. It was so dramatic. I thought he was dead. I remember I was emotionally moved by that because Tails just looked so cute. He was a little fox. And he was like looking up and down like that. You know what I'm saying? Even though, I don't know why did I not think of this. Tails could fly. He like could have just jumped out of the damn plane and spun his little tail and flew away, right? Wait, is Tails a chick? I can't remember. That's probably when they started wedging that shit in back then. It was like, oh, what is Tails? Is Tails a chick? You know, I don't know. I think it was a dude. But I just can't remember at this point. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have any idea. But wow. And I remember, like, you could gain Supersonic at the end. Like, there was something to do with beating the game And then you get the cheat code. And the game was hard as hell. And all of a sudden you'd be Super Saiyan and he's flying and you could play through the whole game again and you're like flying through the levels. And I remember I was like, what the hell am I doing this for? I was like, okay. He's like, there's no more thought or discovery or achievement or breaking through or striving. The striving was gone. And without any ascension left, you were just like at a standstill. And there was no more perceiving, because how could there be? What the hell is left to perceive? You've seen all this shit before. You're just flying through it. It's like, the game's up. The game was dead at that point. And I remember GoldenEye. And I kid you not, I am not lying when I tell you this. I tell you the truth. I busted my toad ass with GoldenEye. And I beat every level where you could get the cheat code from it. You remember how you had to beat it at a certain time, or you had to do this or that, and you could like check the little boxes. And like, for example, if you could beat the facility on 00 agent mode, which was the hardest mode, in like 2 minutes and 7 seconds, you would gain the invincibility code. Now, the thing is, you couldn't use the codes to gain other codes. Like, every time you tried to go for a code with the level, you had to beat the level in that way using no cheat codes. So it was fun, because it was always challenging and you had to beat every level like that in those standards, you know what I mean? It was part of the thrill of the hunt. I remember I got that invincibility. That was the hardest one to get. Invisibility wasn't that hard. Invisibility was hard, but it wasn't that hard. You guys remember trying to get invincibility on 00 agent facility beat within 2 minutes and 7 seconds or less? You had to sidestep the whole level. You had to go so fast because you couldn't really go that fast with the joystick because the joystick was faulty. Remember all those things would get really loose? So they get so loose in there, you couldn't go to your fullest speed with them most of the time. So you had to use the sidestep because that was at least the full throttle. It was either in or out. You know what I mean? It was either on or off. So you sidestep the whole damn level. Wow. And then I was reading through the Game Informer magazine or whatever, and I saw that people were just buying these Game Sharks. And the Game Shark, you could just put the cartridge on top of it and just type in all the fucking codes. But at that point, I was catching on. I was like, huh. So with GoldenEye, I busted my ass getting all those codes as part of the challenge. But I never really used them. Because you couldn't gain the other codes when you used them anyway. And by the time you got them all then, I called them all. It was game over. It was like, okay, I can turn on all these cheats if I wanted to. DK mode, invisibility, invincibility, unlimited ammo, all weapons, you know, like all this stuff. But paintball mode, you remember that? It was like one of the easiest ones to get. Your bullets were all paintballs. They have little paintballs on the enemies and on the walls. It's cool, different colors. But by the time you got to the end, or once you got to the end, there was just nothing left to strive for. So it was over. And then you just kind of put the game away and you're like, huh, I'm done. I almost wanted to like get another cartridge and be like, I got to go through this journey again. Because it was saved on the cartridge, the file. So you get a new cartridge, like I'd see a friend's cartridge and he'd have like the paintball mode unlocked and DK mode unlocked and all the easy shit. And I'd be like, ha, you didn't get that invincibility, did you? No, you didn't. I'd be like, oh, damn, you don't even have invisibility unlocked. Are you kidding me? I could probably get that for you right now. Just give me 20 minutes. And let me get back in the groove. But invincibility, no. That's going to take a while, so I'm not going to do that for you. I busted my ass. I was attempting that for like days. And sometimes I'd get it done in like 2 minutes and 10 seconds. I was like, I was 3 seconds off. I remember getting so close one time I still get, but eventually I got it. But man, those codes just ruined the damn game. I hate to say it. So now we live in a day where we're playing Diablo 4, right? And people go on Max Roll or Icy Veins or whatever the hell else. They see the YouTube guys playing all day, streaming all day or whatnot, posting their guides. And they're just doing endgame stuff, right? Like there's a big millions, trillions of damage popping above their heads. And everybody's like, oh, I want the trillions of numbers popping above my heads. So I'm just going to copy this guy's build. So they go on the max roll, they copy, paste. And then you're going through the game and you're like, I just got to rush to the end. Because I got to get this, and that, put all this shit together, and then I can be just like this guy. And there's no thinking involved. There's no discovery, no breaking through, no experimenting. There's none of that. You just shut your brain off. You're like, okay, let's just copy, paste, and that's it. And even more is the problem that there's not much skill in the game. It's not like GoldenEye, for example, where there's actually dexterity and timing involved, precision involved with the controller and aiming and dodging. Now, there's not really that in Diablo 4. You have 5 buttons and they're all on cooldown. And then you have an evade, but the evade in itself is on a cooldown. You see what I'm saying? And then you have 2 clicks. So there's not much skill involved. Not much at all. It's not a platformer where you could fall off. It's not a shooter where it's all precision based and all that and timing. It's just people play this game with one hand, you know? So my point is, the ascension factor isn't skill in this game. The ascension factor in itself is the discovery. It's the breaking through. It's the achieving. It's the figuring things out. It's the experiencing things for the first time. That's the ascension factor here. And you're skipping it all if you copy and paste the damn build. There's no more ascension factor. And games need that. Everything has an ascension factor that's appealing. Basketball has an ascension factor. Real life basketball, the ascension factor is getting better. More precision, more timing, more speed, more endurance. You know what I mean? All games have ascension factors. But when you break it down to a numbers game, like Diablo 4, for example, where there's little to no ascension factor in the skill. Most games, the ascension factor is the skill. But Diablo, that's not the case. So you got to have the ascension factor be something else, because there's no skill. So the ascension factor becomes, the treasure hunt, the items. You know, and I've been here before. I've spoken on this extensively. But I don't want to go that deep into it today. Whew. But, you see what I'm saying? The ascension factor in Diablo 4 has to be something else. So, it has to be whatever else. Because there's no skill in this game. So that's why it is the discovery. It is the figuring it out. It is the reading the stats. It is the trying this with that with this and seeing how it meshes, seeing how it works, hoping to find the uber drop or whatever, the mythic item now is what they call them. The finding the item with 3 greater affixes, things like that. That's the ascension factor. You know what I mean? So if it just all is given to us, it's obliterated. But if we just copy the damn build, you're pulling all that away. All right? Which is why I ask you guys to join me on this spiritual journey. I am going into season 5, blind as a bat. No guides. Yep. Not going to be watching the videos with the guys crunching the numbers, having all the Top Gear, max roll, this and that, just having little numbers pop above their heads. Not going to be watching that shit. Not going to be looking at a guide. No icy veins, no max roll, none of that bullshit. This will be the spiritual journey where you can ascend and continue ascending. Because that's the problem, is if you copy paste the guide, you're at the top. And there's little things you can do, like, I'll try to tweak this and that. But so much of the ascension factor is pulled away. It's no longer there. You're no longer ascending. You're just at the top of the damn ladder. And like I said in my last video, it's burning up there. All right? Once you get there, there's nothing you're just at the top of the ladder. You're looking down, you're like, what the fuck do I do now? That's when you quit. That's like the Sonic the Hedgehog when you have the codes. It's like GoldenEye when you have all the things unlocked. There's just nothing left to do, so you quit. It's burning up at the top, man. And you look down, you're like, damn it, sir, this sucks. I got to get off. This sucks. And the getting off part, the jumping off, is that the game's over and it's done. There's nothing else to do. Or there's a lot less to do. It's burning at the top. Which is why I challenge you to join me on this spiritual journey. Not in a physical sense, but in a metaphysical sense. I challenge you to join me in a spiritual sense. Go into this blind so that you may see. All right? Because when you do this my way, the way that I propose to you anyway, this is where the true fulfillment is. It's in the ascending, the continual ascending. Because then you're ascending from the beginning. You're like, oh, I found this item. Oh, I found this item. Oh, I wonder what this skill does with this skill. Oh, I wonder what this... You're not just, okay, I have it all planned out. La, 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 la. I'm following the guide. La, 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 la. I just got to get there. La, 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 la. You know what I mean? There's no ascending in that. You're anxious. There's no more perceiving. You're like, la, 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 okay, la, 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 I'm not going to pay attention to this skill. La, 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 let's just follow. Okay, I got to get to this level and follow the guide. La, 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 la. You know what I mean? You're no longer perceiving, man. And when you're no longer perceiving, you're dead. Yeah. So join me on this. I mean, that's why it seems like there's a parallel with a game like Diablo 4, where there's no skill involved. There's 5 fucking buttons on a cooldown. The ascension factor is something else. And it seems like if you copy and paste the guides, you're cheating. How's that different than like typing in the cheat codes on Sonic or whatever? Or putting in the Game Shark? The challenge is the discovery and the figuring shit out. That's the challenge. So there's no more figuring shit out and there's no more discovery if you just paste the damn build. You see what I'm saying? And just how rewarding it is then from the beginning. Like I would say with Diablo 2. There's nothing like entering the den of evil in the beginning. A ladder restart. Even if you've been there before, it's always different. You never know what you're going to find. You can have a different take on it, a different path. There's nothing like being back in the den of evil with nothing but a club in hand with the whole world ahead of you. Just beating the shit out of a little Devakin over the head, one swing at a time. Because you know that your power is coming. You know what I mean? Every little swat over that skull is potentially an upgrade. Find a Nagel ring down in there. Find Arctic Furs quilted armor down in there. I don't think you can find Nagel ring. You'll find that in like the Stony Field or something. You'll find that in Tristram. And beyond. But you see what I'm saying? But let me know your thoughts on these matters. Like this video if you will. Subscribe to the page. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace be with you.